my favorite thing, which is space. Of course, we can't cover everything about space. That's a lot. I don't have enough time. But we are going to talk about some of the things shown in the experiments and the activities that we're going to do today in this video. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, we are going to do a really fun sensory activity today about how craters form. Now, first thing that we need to know is, what is a crater? A crater is a bowl-shaped depression formed by the impact of a meteorite, by some form of volcanic activity, or by an explosion. So here's what you're going to need for the experiment. You're going to need a large pan, white flour, paprika, marbles, and other balls of varying sizes. Now, you don't have to use paprika. You can use cinnamon or some other colored spice or anything like that, but today I have paprika with me. All right, so come up here and let me show you how to do the activity. So we're gonna take our large pan, we're gonna put it here, and what you wanna do is take your flour, and you're gonna wanna put it in the pan. Spread it out, so that's not enough flour. Okay. All right, so I have a good amount of flour in my bin. And then what you want to do is you want to take some of the paprika and just lightly go over it like that so that it kind of covers the flour. It smells very spicy in here. All right, and so then what you do is you take your marbles and you drop them. And so then you also, if you have other types of like balls or marbles and things like that of different sizes, of different weights and things like that, you want to drop them in too to see what sort of craters do they make. Just like that. So where do you find craters? Some are here on Earth, actually. There is the Meteor Crater, which is in Arizona. It's also known as the Meteor Crater, and it was actually created instantly when a 50 meter, which is 164 feet, 150,000 ton meteorite slammed into the desert around 50,000 years ago. And this crater is huge. If you can, you should look it up. It's really crazy. But there's actually one that is bigger and older, and it's the oldest and largest impact crater on planet Earth, and it's the Meteor Crater in South Africa. It's estimated to have originally been 185 miles, which translates to 300 kilometers across. So it's really big. And a huge meteorite or an asteroid created this crater around what they think is 2.02 billion years ago. And that was a really, really long time. But, you know, you can actually see craters a lot closer than that, in a sense. If you actually look at the moon and you look really closely, you'll see kind of dark spots all over it. And those are craters, and they vary in size, from just a few meters to hundreds of meters wide. How cool is that? Okay, so our next experiment is going to be about black holes. And black holes are really interesting, even though we don't know a whole lot about them. But you might be asking, what is a black hole? Well, it's a region of space where matter has actually collapsed in on itself. And this catastrophic event, it's really violent, it's really big, and it results in a huge amount of mass being concentrated into a very, very small area. And because of this, black holes actually have their own gravitational pull, similar to like Earth, where, you know, gravity keeps us and our feet on the ground. Well, black holes have their own gravitational pull as well, and they're incredibly strong. And it's so great that it nothing can escape it. If you get within the gravitational pull of this black hole, you can't get out. Nothing can get out, not even light. And should anything get pulled into it, they are literally stretched to their breaking point, which is really, really crazy. So luckily today though, we're not creating anything that intense. Instead, we are making our own little bursting black holes. So here's what you'll need. A silicone donut mold, baking soda, black food coloring, and should be gel, but if you don't have that, if you have liquid black food coloring, that will work as well. Dish soap, vinegar, a large mixing bowl, a pipette, and if you have gloves, you should wear those, or if you have a spoon, you can use that to mix as well. Okay, so what we need to do first is we're gonna take our baking soda, and we're gonna use a whole box. So we're gonna open up this whole box of baking soda. And we're going to pour it into our large bowl. Okay, so then, whoa, that's dusty. Okay, so then the next thing to do is get a teaspoon of black gel food coloring. Well, we don't have that, so let me go get a tablespoon and we'll put some black food coloring in. All right, so I'm back with my teaspoon of black food coloring. What I did was I basically just combined all of my colors. It might not be completely black, but if you can get your hands on some black food coloring, that would be the best thing to do, or you can make your own. So then I'm going to add my teaspoon. All right. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put on a glove. If you have gloves at home, you can use this, but if you don't, you can also use a spoon. What we're going to need now is a 1/4 cup of water, which we're going to add into this, but we're actually going to do it a teaspoon at a time. So, and we're going to mix it together. Until it forms a nice thick paste. Now it looks like my black holes might turn out to be a little green, but that's going to be okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make some more food coloring. Okay, so unfortunately my black holes didn't turn out black, but that's okay because it'll still work the same way. So then what we're gonna do is, if you would like to, you can mix in glitter. So I'm gonna see if I can get this open. So we're gonna open up our glitter. We're gonna put however much we feel like in it. Now, you don't have to add glitter, but if you'd like to, you can. And so then we're gonna mix it all up. Now, I wanted to say one of the things that I did differently from the recipe that I used was we didn't have gel food coloring, so that's why we didn't have black. So my black holes will actually be green holes instead of black holes. But if you use gel food coloring or actual black food coloring, you should get the right color for your base. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to take it, and so what you also need is a silicone donut mold. And so what we're gonna do is we are going to pack our donut mold. I'm actually going to put on my other glove so this will be nice and easy. Okay, so now that our silicone donut mold is nice and packed, we are gonna go put it in the freezer. You can put it in overnight. This one is actually going to sit for most of the day today, and we'll be back when they're ready. Okay, so that was a really quick turnaround, right? We are back, and my bursting black holes, which are green holes, are ready and frozen. So what you're gonna do is we're going to gently take our bursting black holes out of their molds. And place them into our large pan. Now, what you'll need is a cup of vinegar and some dish soap and a pipette if you can get your hands on one. What you're gonna do with your dish soap is to kind of just make a more bubbly reaction. We're gonna kind of put it in between our black holes. And then we're going to take our pipette and put it in the middle of our black holes. Now, if you'd like something a little more violent, we can pour in the middle like that. Now mine aren't as spectacular as some, but I would love to see what you guys make at home. But the really cool thing about this is that the vinegar and the baking soda in here is the same as like a baking soda volcano if you've ever made one. And the reason why that it works is because baking soda is a base while vinegar is an acid. And whenever you combine them, they create this low-level violent reaction between the two of them. And this is caused because the vinegar is actually exchanging an atom with the baking soda, which turns the baking soda into water and carbon dioxide. Or it turns both of them into water and carbon dioxide, which is really, really cool. So, and you can do this at home. And both of them are super easy and fun. And if you do them, as I said, I would love to see what you do. Us at the Bedford Library would love to see what you do. So if you do it, post it, tag us in it, and we would love to see what's going on at home. But other than that, that's all I have for you for today. So I will see you in 2 weeks.